All right. It is 6:57 p.m. Over here down in Florida, Eastern Time. Appleby, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Um, I'm not gonna show my face just yet. If you guys were on the channel earlier, you were able to see a 5 hour long stream of me walking to raise awareness for any and every victim of sexual abuse. So I was doing that earlier. What's going on, Tetris Guy? What's going on, Julie Harmon? What's up? What's up? I'll show my face in a second. I'm just trying to get situated on the table and all that. But Jessica, what's going on? I would add my microphone, but I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to hear tonight's guest, so I'm going to leave it out for now. Jessica, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Matt Jones, appreciate that. VL baby girl, what's going on? Yep, as you chime in, even though I said 7 p.m., I'm gonna give some time to my guests to prepare. So we're gonna talk for like 5 minutes or so, maybe a little more before I get her on here. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, if you have not yet checked out the video I did earlier, go ahead and give it a like for now, and then after this interview, go ahead and watch it. It'll help with the algorithm on the channel, and of course, most importantly, it'll help spread awareness to for what I was doing it for. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna 1 second. All right, so X, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt Jones. So I'm sending the link to tonight's guest. All right. So in the meantime, y'all can go ahead and like the stream so far as we wait. And obviously, if you haven't checked out the Instagram stories and all that on my profile, go ahead and do that too. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time tonight. We're gonna have a very interesting conversation. As you all notice on the title of this stream, I put unsung heroes because most of the time there's people who work on the sidelines of these catches that don't get the recognition they deserve. So that being the case, hence why I put unsung heroes. But yeah, tonight's guest, I'm gonna let her do most of the talking when it comes time to answer the questions and tell her story. Um, but yeah, all right. So hold on, I'm just sending her the link right now. Um, all right. Let's see what we got going on in the chat area. I'll show my face. Why not, right? All right. So Cray, maybe it depends. If you've been around this community for a long time, then most definitely you might know her. You were allowed to time out. Oh, okay. Thank you for that question, Julie. I appreciate that. So The only thing that I do not tolerate or allow, especially when it comes to these kind of interviews that are really delicate, um, please be aware that this guest, right now, they're a survivor, but in the past, they did go through some things. So please be respectful and mindful of that. Okay. Uh, Obviously, respect everybody in the chat area altogether. All right. No politics at all. Please, no politics. I don't want to know. I don't really care to know right now what's going on in the politics. Um, and that's, what I'm saying. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody that is. I'm just trying to keep this oriented towards the topic at hand. Also, keep the swearing and cursing to a bare minimum, and even better if there's no cursing or cussing at all in the chat area. Don't disrespect my guests in any way, shape, or form. Of course, write down your questions for after the interview. Okay. Again, I repeat, if you have any questions for my guest, hold your questions and comments for my guest till after the interview. Okay. And yeah, guys, please, as you're stepping in to the stream, give it a thumbs up, please. It'll really help with the algorithm, and of course, help spread the story that is of tonight's guest. A little tongue tied because running all that earlier. Of course, warnings first. I'll even be fair enough to say 5 warnings. No, 3 warnings. Okay, 3 warnings. And if they still do what they do, then time out. And I think I'll give everybody like 3 times out. So, okay, cool. We'll forget it. No, Craig. You could just write down the question as it comes to you, or type it on your phone or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys. Without further ado, all right. Without further ado, on Instagram, she's known as Jen Stewart. So if you guys know that name on Instagram, Miss Jen Stewart, she follows and supports pretty much most, if not all, the predator poachers. That's who I have for tonight's guest. Yeah, I appreciate that, Julie. Thank you. And one says mod me. FM, bro, if I could mod you from here, from like StreamYard, I would, bro, but I can't. And because I'm using StreamYard to do this, it doesn't allow me to mod anybody. Just remind me after the stream, because I can't do it from here. It has to be from a regular YouTube stream. But yeah. All right. So I did send the link. We're just going to wait for her to pop up on my side. All right. So she in here. All right. I'm going to give you guys, please give her a warm welcome. All right. Jen, what's up?
Hey. Okay, that popped up quick.
Yeah. All right. So everybody's welcome you with open arms. Everybody has love and support for you and what you do. Before I do anything or ask any question, how's your day going? How's life treating you and all that good stuff?
It's good. Real good.
Life is good.
It's
all right.
Today.
So what do you do right
day.
now? What are you? You said busy day?
Yeah, busy day. If you hear any dings, you'll know why. I've got several people that are dinging in, so just ignore. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I understand. You know what I'm saying? The trials and tribulations of the work you do. So it's all good. All right. So before we start officially, is there anything you want to tell the people watching and supporting this stream right now before we get into it?
I can't think of anything right now.
All right. Fair enough. So we got everybody in the chat area, because I know you can't see it right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's like showing you love and all that good stuff. They're giving
Thank you
a real welcome. And I already laid down the guidelines and the rules of the stream. So obviously, you can't control everything. You know what I'm saying? We can only do so much as to ask respectfully for everybody to respect your story, what you're going to talk about, and all that good stuff. But hopefully everybody was aware of the rules and regulations, and we have no trolls in here. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right.
I've
So,
got a pretty thick skin. I'm good.
oh, perfect. Even better.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you're
love
really
it. I
thick
love when
skin.
it's like that.
No, I'm fine. Don't worry. You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Perfect. 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 All right. So on Instagram, you go as Jen Stewart, but I don't know if that's like your actual real name or if you want to go by something else.
It is actually.
Okay.
I was kind of dumb and I didn't know the rules that you're not supposed to put your real name online for anything. And so I started going by my real name, and I'm like, well, whatever. So
I mean, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the government and other people have that information anyways, regardless if you put it out there or not. So, I mean, it really is just like if you want to add that extra layer of like privacy, then go ahead and use like a different name altogether. But I mean, it is what it is. It's not
if anybody wants my identity, they'll find it and they'll give it right back. I'm not
exactly.
I'm not afraid.
So yeah, don't even worry about that at all.
Yeah. No,
So, what's your age? You know what I'm saying? What do you do for a living? Do you go to school?
Oh my goodness. I hate giving this out, and I used to not. I used to be so okay with it. But now, in February, I hit 40. So I'm not okay with saying that now, which is so funny. I'm sorry. Something literally just blew into my eye. I knew coming outside would be a bad thing. But yeah. Oh, I am not crying. I'm just about my age. I'll do that in February.
We believe you.
No, seriously. But I'm gonna be 40, and it hurts to say that, you guys, because to me, when I was little, 40 was so old, and I'm not old. I'm not old, so I don't feel old anyway.
Yeah. Someone in the chat area, Esquetzalo, that's the way I pronounce it. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. I'm sorry. But they said you could pass for younger, and I definitely highly agree. You look like someone who's in their 30s, like early 30s, late 20s, maybe. You look super young.
I get that a lot. Usually I think people are lying and trying to flatter me.
No, not at all.
But I do get asked if I'm my daughter's sister a lot. My daughter is 16, so I do appreciate that a whole lot. So it does work out for me being a decoy a whole lot, because my pictures, even when they're face apped, look a lot younger. So that really does help me out a whole lot.
It does. It helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
I'm kind of like mad that I didn't found you sooner when I started, approaching the whole catching part of this, and be like, hey, how much for decoy work? Because now I know what you do, but now it's like I know you probably like have like a whole list of like people like hitting me up, like, hey, can you help me out with like decoy work, whatever? And I'm like the bottom of the list, probably, like.
Actually, I'm really new to this, believe it or not. So, well, I'm new to this with the predator poachers, with Alex. I've been low-key doing this for years for fun, but I didn't know that they could actually send people to jail.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to get to that right now, actually. Like, you answered a little bit of some of the questions, but I'm still going to take you through it. That way we can kind of like swim into deeper waters, and then you'll get to, say everything that you got to say and all that good stuff. But now that you mentioned it, you already kind of said it, but what has been your role within this online community that we're catching predators?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am probably a decoy. I have so much fun decoying for Alex in Houston. And I probably shouldn't have said that part, but it doesn't matter. People don't usually watch his stuff if they're a predator anyway. So it's but I have been with some of the other members of Predator Poachers as well. I have decoyed for them as well, and that they're just so much fun, so much fun.
All right. Now let me ask you this: aside from chatting with the predators and talking to the predators by phone and all that, is there any other area within being a decoy that you also do?
No, I haven't, and I probably wouldn't. I'm not much of a confrontational person, so I would probably wimp out on the rest of it. But you put me behind a keyboard or behind a phone, and yeah, I'll do whatever.
That's where you draw the line is
Mm-hmm.
chatting and over the phone, but nothing else beyond that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll do just about anything you want behind the phone and everything. That's where I feel comfortable.
Good. That's good to know. That's good to know because, I mean, I was over here like already like making a strategy like, oh, maybe if she shows up, I'm saying wearing a red hoodie and some blue jeans.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean it looks fun. I'm not gonna lie. I have considered it and fantasized a little bit about it, but whenever you really stick me out there, I'm only 5 feet tall, and
Mm,
um, I couldn't fight my way out of a situation if I wanted to. So, uh, no,
fair
not.
enough. I mean, with all due respect, I think anybody who you're working with would have your back 100%.
Oh no, I know they would. I totally know they would. I mean, I've been on police ride-alongs and stuff.
Good.
One of my former jobs was for a police department, and again behind phones, 911
Good.
operator. But being on the police ride-alongs was thrilling. But whenever it came down to it, and they had to draw the guns, I was like, I'm so glad I'm not them. I am not cut out for that work. I know that that's not my place.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we all understand
Yeah.
where we like work best at, and like
Yeah.
what areas we need to work on a little more to be able to like help out in those areas. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good that you're wise in that aspect of like okay, knowing your boundaries and all that. That's good. That's good on you. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know the boundaries and don't care to know them. So, then that's when they make mistakes and all that and other stuff happens. So good on you. All right. So how long exactly to where you can like remember, have you been doing decoy work for anybody, whether it be Alex or any other poachers?
Well, for predator poachers in general, I started in June of this year, and just decoy work for myself. I think I was 16 years old. Got my first computer. It's been a long time.
Really?
Well, you go into a chat room back whenever they had the Yahoo chat rooms. If that shows you how old I am.
Wow.
You go in there and immediately you find predators. I mean,
That's
it didn't
cool.
matter if you were in the role playing chat rooms, which I'm a bit of a nerd. That's where I would hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you would go into the adult chat rooms, that's where they were. They were everywhere. So after a while, I really got sick of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna troll them. So I did.
Nice.
I trolled them, and after a while, I was like, I work for such and such police department, or I work for the FBI, and I'm like, of course I didn't, and I didn't realize at the time that that was a crime. I was 16 years old. I had no idea because
Yo.
that wasn't common knowledge back then. After I learned it was a crime, I quit. But it was fun while it lasted. So yeah, I did do that before. I loved trolling those people though, because I would string them along for weeks and
Wow.
then just spring it on them, and they were scared. And
Cool.
that feeling of satisfaction when they were afraid. So yeah,
You've been
that
doing
was
this
awesome.
for a long time. Oh, that's crazy. That is
Yeah,
crazy. Well, that's
yeah,
good though. That means that you have a lot of experience in your hands. So that I'm pretty sure it works well when you do decoy work nowadays. You already got all that time that you put in when you were younger. So that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I've been on computer and stuff like that for a long time. And like I said, the very first time I got my computer, that's pretty much what I started out doing because I'm 16 years old, kind of a nerd. I was bored. So yeah, I was real bored.
Yo, and I remember because okay, so not this is kind of like an interjection between the
Hmm.
questions or whatever, but I remember when I was younger and I was living in West Palm Beach with my family. I was about maybe 10, 11 years old. And we had we had the AOL and we were on Messenger, like my brother and me, every now and then. And every now and then, like we would come across like whether it be a female or like a male, which we
Yeah.
knew like had to be an older person because of the way they were like talking to us or in the group chat all together. And I would like be kind of like surprised and like weirded out by it, not scared, but just kind of like was like an older person. You know what I'm saying? We like 10 years old, 11 years old. What's an
Hmm.
older person doing inside this chat? It's crazy. And of course, nowadays, now I look back and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that was a predator just waiting to pounce. That's crazy.
But yeah. And sometimes they don't have to live in your area. They just want the talk for the pictures. And
Hmm.
back then they wanted the same thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, and then they're really not hard to spot. So they can pretend to be young, but they don't know how.
Right, exactly. And there would be like moments where you'd be like, wait, hold up, man. Like, what?
Hmm.
You
Now
can
they
hear
don't even
like
hide
the
it
lingo.
anymore. Yeah.
It didn't match up. The lingo didn't wouldn't match up sometimes. I'm like,
Mm-mm. Nope.
eh, I know you're probably like in your 40s or whatever.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this. How, okay, either who or how were you introduced to this world of like actually helping to catch online predators and you know doing decoy? How did you find out about all these channels?
Well, the Predator Poacher channels actually showed up in my feed one day. It was actually AZ's channel. Um, let's see, he was Predator Poacher's OTR.
Right.
And his showed up in my channel one day. Of course, I knew of the concept because I used to watch Chris Hansen all the time. And when that went off the air, I was really sad. But, then he started doing the Onision thing. And I kind of watched it. It wasn't as good. Um, but then, like I said, OTR stuff popped up, and then Alex's stuff started popping up. And I'm like, dude, there's this guy in Houston. So I emailed both of them the same day. And I'm like, can I help? Is there any way to help? And both of them were like, call me. So I did. I was
Nice.
like, I want to help you. And they're like, okay, this is what to do. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And I'm like, I can follow that. I've done that before.
Mhm.
So I just got online and started doing what I used to do. It's a whole lot more fun. And then just sent them every chat, every single minute of it.
That's
And
crazy.
I have had a blast ever since.
So basically, you know, they welcomed you with open arms
Oh,
and
yeah,
you know, said, "Oh,
absolutely.
perfect. You know, cool that you want to help out. You know, we're happy that you want to be part of this or whatever." But they were professional about it and said this
Very.
can and cannot do. Correct?
Absolutely. There are certain things you can't do. You can't entrap them. Um, like you can't make the first move. You
Right.
absolutely cannot make the first move.
Hmm.
You're bait,
Hmm.
and I have no problem doing that. You can't. You have to tell them how old your character is, and that's what I look at the pictures as. They're my character. Um, and that's a whole different side of me there, but we'll get to that later. Um, there's there's other things that you can't do. You can't be the first one to uh, talk sexually to them. I
Right.
know if anybody on here has seen any of the stuff that I do over on Alex's channel, a lot of people are going to say, well, she's talking sexually to him. Well, yes, but they start it. And I usually leave it to where they leave me no choice, to where either I'm going to lose the catch or I got to start something. I got to agree with them, and it's like a yes and. You role play with them. So in my role play, I've got a yeah, and I'll, sure, let's do this. And you have to pretend like you're just a dumb kid who doesn't know anything about anything. So, and I think on Alex's channel, especially, but I would do this anyway, we're always virgins. We're not experienced at all. So, it's just, for me, it's a different story every time. But if I've got 5 predators on the line at the same time, I try to keep it with the same story for all 5 predators so I don't get mixed up. Because it is easy. I have at one time had 2 different stories, and I messaged one about the other, and I was like, whoops. I can talk my way out of it, though. It's really, really easy. They're not there for the story. They're there for what they're there for. So they're stupid.
It's the truth, though. It's the truth. They are.
I'm sorry, but they're there for one thing. So it's not hard to talk your way out of it. There's only one that's figured out I'm a kid, that I'm not a kid. And so it's not that hard.
Which, by the way, brings me to another interjected question. Like, how many, if you could, like, top of your head, doesn't have to be exact number, but how many, like, predators have you, done decoy work towards, since you started working with predator poachers up until now?
I've been a decoy for a lot, but not all of them in catches. I only count the catches.
Gotcha.
Let's see. I remember my first one was, if anybody remembers the guy at Cons, the manager at Cons, he got fired, by the way.
Okay.
And that was my very first. Let's see. He keeps getting taken down, though, and I get really mad about that. That's not Alex's fault, by the way. If they call in, or if they strike it on YouTube, YouTube takes it down, and then Alex has to put it back up. So let's see. And then, of course, the one that we thought was Alex something or other, he got arrested. He met him at I think it was Casa Olay, or that place in Humble near the Deer Park, Papacitos. That was it. I wish that would have been a lot more satisfying, but that cop was sitting there, and he heard everything. But I had been working on him for 2 months almost.
Whoa.
And he kept flaking on us five different times. I wish that would have been more satisfying, but I was happy. He got caught. He got fired. He was arrested, probably let go the same day, but whatever. That's fine. I mean, it happens. There have been more, but those 2 stick out in my head because they're my favorites of mine. I don't know. I count the ones I watch on Alex's channel more than I do my own, because I have so many more, but the female that we just lost. I was so mad. She flaked. It's okay. We'll get another female, because they're out there. I've had several approach me, but and they're okay with the age. It's just they don't want to get caught, and they're a lot more calculated.
Right. No, I agree.
A lot more calculated.
Yep.
But we'll don't worry, we'll get them. Yep. And the pictures that I use, it's really obvious to tell how young I am in the pictures.
Yeah.
So you can't look at that and possibly think this is an 18-year-old that's here on this site. No possible way. So don't worry, we'll get more. But I promise I have more than 2. I just can't think of any more right now because I'm on the spot.
I believe you, because when Alex asked me who I was going to have on or whatever, and I mentioned you, he put a picture of a goat. You know what I'm saying? Like the greatest of all time, basically. So,
I was wondering what that meant. I was like, I hope that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good thing. Like,
Okay.
if you get a goat emoji,
Oh
just
yeah.
think.
Okay. I've been seeing that, but I was like, I'm not gonna ask. That's gonna make me look dumb. I'm
I
just
mean,
old.
you're
I'm not
smart
in.
in
I'm
that
too young for
aspect.
the kids. My kids didn't know what it meant either.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah. Well, they're homeschooled, so they don't know some of
Oh,
the lingo. Not all of the lingo, but some of the lingo.
yeah.
So
It happens though. Like, it's just something that if you don't use it often, you're not gonna
yeah.
know. Right?
Yeah. I'll tell them
So
though. I don't know.
besides Alex and AZ,
Yeah.
was there any other poacher that you worked hand in hand with, like closely, that you can say, I consider them almost like my friend, basically, because I worked so much with them?
No, I have just a little bit with Southeast Texas, but just a little, not a whole lot. I would like to work more with them because they're in the area,
Exactly.
but not a whole lot.
All right. So, as far as you keep doing this work of being a decoy, whether it be for the predator poachers or for anybody else involved with help catching these predators and pedophiles, how much longer do you think you have doing this?
Oh, forever. I'm gonna do it until I can't anymore. Until the technology just gets beyond me.
That was good to know. Because I mean, that question is so delicate and so serious because, like, all of us, like, you know what I'm saying, if we were in your shoes and we knew how to do what you do, I'm pretty sure most of us would say the same thing. But I know some people would be like, well, like, I would love to do this until I die, but like, realistically, because of the families, his work, blah blah blah, career, school, etc. Maybe I might have like a good 5 year run with it or whatever. But for the most of us, we would love to think, you know what I'm saying, like, and say that, yo, till my last breath, I'll keep doing this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, I've definitely found my calling. This is it. I love it too much.
So in your mind and heart, pretty much this is like the purpose like of your life is like help take these creeps down, basically, expose them, and help hopefully get them to jail or sentence and help
Hmm.
better the laws so that they can't keep doing what they do.
Absolutely. I don't like the way the laws are starting to look in some places,
Oh yeah.
and definitely these people should be nowhere near children at all. That's my one thing that I fight against. Uh, Kids don't need to be near these type of people at all. They're monsters. I don't care that people say that it's a mental illness. I don't care that people say that. I don't feel like it's a mental illness. It's I mean maybe it is, but there's something that needs to be done about it. I feel like they belong in jail. I'm sorry, that's just my feeling. I might get hate, I don't know, but I just feel that way.
No, and that's completely understood. Long story short, before we continue,
Yeah.
so I follow this channel on YouTube, and I've been following this person since 2012-ish, around there. And I've kept following them because they've brought up a lot of information when it comes to like child kidnappings and stuff like that. And they were one of the few and one of the first people that I personally heard say, hey guys, watch out because pedophiles and all these people that abduct kids and do this to kids, they're fighting for their rights because at some point they're gonna say, oh, it's their right, that they should have the opportunity to have relationships with kids, blah blah blah. Years pass by, and we're now seeing nowadays
Yeah.
saying that they're given that opportunity, basically that chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's been happening, I think, for some time somewhere in Europe, but now like it's coming across the states now. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's
it
great.
is.
So, but yeah, so that's good. That's good that your mindset and your heart's in the right place. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
So I do apologize. We're multitasking over here at the house, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, so going on and moving on forward with the questions. You already kind of answered this next one, so I'm not even going to ask it. Also, actually, this one's a good one. So, uh, based off of the catches that you helped Alex with and AZ and any other predator poacher, how many of them actually ended up in like jail time, whether it be for a day or two or whatever, but just jail time?
The only one I know of is that guy named that we thought was named Alex. That's the only one that I know of. Of course, we wish there were more, but you know, that's just not a thing right now. I have checked in to see about getting more licenses and certificates and stuff, both for me and other predator poachers. And unfortunately, they want you to work in the police departments too. They don't like the standalone units like us. So I can kind of see that, but I would think they'd be a little more grateful for any help they could get.
Right. True that. It's like I tell some people. Sometimes, sadly, sometimes just getting them exposed is worse than jail time. Why?
Yes.
Because of like maybe the area that they live in. You know what I'm saying? The neighbors now know. Maybe the neighbors might be a little bit more brutal with them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you know how the streets are. They take matters into their own hands sometimes. And so in jail they might be protected. You know what I'm saying? Here and there, but out in the open where the neighbors can see them and they know what they did. Worse.
Right. The jail sentences aren't long enough anyway, so
That's
a slap on the wrist right now.
That too. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, yeah. Preparing food and all that good stuff. I do apologize again. I'm sorry about that.
You're good.
All right. So take me through a regular day in the life for you. Like, like personal life without the catching stuff aside. Like,
okay. There's not much to it. I wake my kids up, and I have an 18-year-old son. He goes to college online right now, of course, because the colleges are closed.
Right.
And so he does that. My daughter is homeschooled, but she gets. We do meet with her very, very small co-op just once a week. So we do that. And while they're doing their schoolwork, I'm doing my work. And that's just talking to a bunch of perverts all day.
Right.
So my mom loves to joke with me about that. And she's like, every time I get a text or a ding on my phone, is that a pervert? I'm like, yes, absolutely it is. I'm sorry, mother. So, she just thinks it's funny. Every now and then I'm like, no, it's not a pedophile. I actually do have a life beyond pedophiles. So, yeah, that's it. We live with my mom because I'm a single mom actually. So their dad lives in College Station, so he lives kind of far from us. We're in the Houston area, but that's us. We just live here. That's it. That's our day. That's all of it. I'm sorry, we're very boring people.
It's all good. It's all good. And I mean, it is what it is. Like for example, like my day-to-day life up until like not too long ago. Get up at 2:25 in the morning, get ready for work, go to work, take care of passengers for 8 hours or so, come back and, work on the channel or do something like that. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that just because that's the way your life is, it doesn't mean that it's boring or nothing like that. Everybody has, what I'm saying, their day-to-day routine, and that's just how it is. But yeah, hold on. So Pirate Hacker wants to ask something. And Pirate Hacker, just hold on to that question until after the interview. All right. So for now, okay, for now, I'm done with my questions, all right, at the moment. I'm going to give you pretty much 100% the floor
Hmm.
that you can tell your story and so that everybody can understand, you know what I'm saying, why, hopefully, get a better understanding of why or what led to doing what you do nowadays, and just anything else that will help anybody else who was in the same position that you were at once, pretty much like a fighting chance and motivation and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna give you the floor. Say what you got to say and tell us your story. Take your time.
Okay. Well, whenever you actually start talking about it, when I think about it, it's a big story. When I talk about it, it's not much of a story. So go ahead and interject any questions you want because I can pick up anywhere. Um, Starting whenever I was 2 years old, because that's the first memory that I have. Um, when I was two, I lived with my grandparents until I was three. My mom was also a single mom. She divorced my dad whenever um, I was 6 months old. Well, my biological dad, let me say that, because he was not my dad. But anyway, so my grandpa started to molest me at age 2. And living with them made that really easy for him. Um, and what made that, I guess, surprising for everybody once they found out, which they didn't find out for, nobody found out. I didn't tell anybody until I was 18 years old. He did that for 18 years. And I went everywhere with him. I was his buddy. He called me his number one grandchild. Uh, Number one, because I was the oldest and I stayed with them the most. I went everywhere with him. I did everything with him. I loved him more than any of the other grandparents. And I did anything he said, anything he wanted. He was your typical groomer. Looking back, I know that now. He was a typical groomer. He took me places with him that were private, and he had a workshop. He had he kept cows, and on and off of our property. He kept me quiet. He knew how to do it. Um, I've told my mom here in these recent years that I don't really remember her being a part of my life until I was in my preteens, which she was. I lived with her from the time I was 4 on up. I don't remember her though. He did a really great job of blocking her out. Um, I would spend the night with him all the time, and I would sleep with him whenever I would go to my grandparents' house. So um, he had a perfect kid to sexually assault and molest and do whatever he wanted to do with. I find out years later that on the night of his wedding, after my grandmother died, he married another woman, and he was mad at me that day because I didn't go to their wedding. And the reason was because I couldn't. I was mad at him for a lot of reasons, and I liked the woman. That was not the problem. But he was really, really mad at me. And my mom was upset with me for not going to the wedding because, of course, he made her feel like crap. He hated her. He told her when she was 5 years old that she was a mistake and that he hated her guts. And, he told her that all throughout her life. So that was not a problem. I mean, that was not a secret, not a problem. It was a problem. But he really, really hated her. Anyway, so he made her feel like crap. She came home and was like, "Why did you do that? Why did you make him make me feel like crap?" And I'm like, it popped out. I was like, because he molested me. all those years. And she was like, she just kind of dropped everything and sat on the couch, and she was like, me too. And she's like, since I was 5. I was like, since I was 2. And then so we, absolutely banned him from our lives. My uncle tells him he can't come around to my aunt or cousin's house either. And then we find out he's been doing the same thing to my cousin and my aunt. And none of the 4 of us knew about each other at all. So, I mean, he was the mayor of a small town that we grew up in. He was high in our church. He was, I mean, everybody looked up to this man. Everybody. And they just were, I mean, people that I tell today, they're like, we really loved your grandpa. How is he? And I'm like,
Wow.
he's dead. Let me tell you why. I mean, no, that's not why. Like, nobody killed him. But, I mean, he died of a stroke a couple of years ago. But I'm like, I have no problem anymore telling them exactly why he was not a good man. And everybody's just like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no, I'm totally not kidding you.
Mm-hmm.
And we were quiet because we were afraid. He had threatened us all with different things. And what he threatened me with, even up until his wedding day, I remember the threat. He said, I'm going to put your mom and dad in the hospital. He said, one day I'm going to see them on life support. You mark my words. And I didn't. I didn't see my mom and dad on life support, which is great.
Good. Yeah.
So that I am so thankful for. What I have trouble with is that I still love the man. He was my world for so long, and I have a lot of conflicting feelings about that. But doing stuff like this really helps. I'm in therapy, by the way. I'm in therapy for that. So don't worry. I had to. I told my mom, I'm like, look, I'm never going to get over any of this on my own. And I need professional help with this. So I'm definitely going to need a little help. So she's like, absolutely, honey. And I've been in therapy for only about 2 years now. But it's definitely helping a whole lot. And they are in full support of what I do. They know all about this. And they're actually excited to hear about what I do every time I come in.
Good.
So, but yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
All right, so that was wow. I was not expecting any of that. Because
yeah, it's a bit.
And let me just say this, because I know we talked a little bit, like I think it was yesterday, about today, and you were pretty much concerned that the details of the story, of your backstory, would be a bit much for the viewers. Now, let's get one thing straight. I'm not one for, I'm saying, gruesome details unless absolutely needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right now, I want to say, what you said was perfectly fine. Like everything that you mentioned, as far as the level of intensity, I'm pretty sure most people on the chat area and myself. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's tough to stomach because of who you're talking about. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like we all know that it's a reality.
I left stuff out.
Yeah.
I toned it down.
I mean, but you sharing it, let me tell you, like, it's gonna help a lot of people. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of people who have gone through what you went through with the same family member that what I'm saying, that you mentioned, they might feel like they can't say anything because of the fact that it's that family member. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but this helps those people. Like, you know what? If she could do it, if she could say and talk about it, I'm saying, why can't I? What's stopping me from talking about it?
Yeah. And something that I want a lot of people to know, and that I didn't even realize until I grew up. I was divorced in my early 30s. No, my late 20s. And let me tell you something. I was groomed as a child, but you can be groomed as an adult too,
Mm-hmm.
because the abuse didn't stop with my grandpa. Sexual assault and stuff. I've got. I always thought I had something written across my forehead that said "damaged." Please take advantage.
Wow.
And because people did, like bosses and stuff, they can see you coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not confident in yourself, if it's like they know you're not going to talk, that you're going to keep your mouth shut, if they touch you or try to pass stuff off,
Right.
that was just a brush across your butt. No, no, that's not okay.
Yeah. No. There you go.
And believe me, I mean, I've been used in many ways in the work environment. Talk about it, because you can be groomed as an adult just as well as you can as a child. And that's something that I see a lot of people say, oh no, you can't, you're just a slut or something. No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody is in a situation like that, please say something to somebody, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
just a trusted coworker, or if it's just a trusted somebody in your life. Tell somebody. Okay, sorry.
No, no, no. You're
No, go
good.
ahead. I
No,
just wanted to let you know. I mean, it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't end as a child, because sometimes the child part sticks around, and it definitely did with me for so long, because that child mentality stays and stays and stays. And part of me, I think that's what works really good with me being a decoy, because part of me still feels like a child, and I still understand exactly what these perverts want out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really easy for me to just kind of dip back into it and be like, okay, I know exactly what it is you want,
Mm-hmm.
but I have the control now. I'm the one in control, and that really, um, it's therapeutic. It really,
I
really
bet
is.
it is.
Yeah, it is. It's therapeutic, especially when they get caught. I'm like, oh yeah, that feels good. So kind of
But
a
okay,
sick little addiction here that I've got, but it
it's a
helps.
good addiction. It's a good
Yeah, it
addiction.
is.
You know what I'm saying? It helps the world. So keep going with your addiction. Don't worry about that. Right. So I have a question that it's very, very delicate, but it's very important at the same time. Okay.
I'll answer anything. Go for it.
So um, I've seen a lot of shows and a lot of documentaries, whether it be on Hulu or whatever on TV. And sometimes, sadly, okay, obviously this wasn't your case, okay, but and I want everybody to bear with me, because once again, this is a delicate question, because but it has to be answered, and who better than someone who's in Jen's shoes to answer this question, okay. I've seen a lot of shows and stuff where the child was not sexually assaulted or whatever, but because they hate whatever the mom's boyfriend or whatever, they make up, what I'm saying, a story and say, oh, he touched me or he did this to me. How, if I'm on the other side, let's say I'm the mom, let's say I'm the dad, and obviously I want to believe my child, before anybody else, and I'm going to protect my child. And obviously I want to make sure that if something did happen, I want to protect my child. But how do you know? How can you tell from a child that it really happened to versus a child who just, what I'm saying, they just want to get rid of somebody?
A lot of the time, you can tell when a child has been coached. Um, number one, go with your gut. Um, it's from somebody who's been there, I don't know what it's like on the outside. So I can, and I'm not going to say this is 100% true but there are times where you can look at somebody and I'm like, something's not right in that house.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say if it's physical abuse or sexual abuse, but sometimes you just get this feeling. And there might not even be any outward signs, but you just get this feeling that something's not right. And it might just be a look or something, and you're just like, mm-mm. But you can't call CPS off of a look. So you don't. But a lot of the time you can tell when a child has been groomed. If in doubt, call CPS. I'm gonna share something that I'm not proud of, but actually I have nothing not to be proud of. We've had CPS called on us before, on me as a mom. My daughter is a type 1 diabetic, and this was the first time her seeing a pediatrician, and she had we had just moved to the area about a month before, and she did not have an endocrinologist in this area yet. Well, that pediatrician did not think that we were doing our due diligence because we just hadn't found one. And they called CPS out. I'm like, okay. So, anyways, they worked with us. They were great. They are not there to take away your children. They're not there to take away anybody's kids. So, I mean, if you have a feeling, call them. They will investigate. They know what they're doing. They have people trained to know if kids uh, have been groomed. They have people who are trained to know if kids have been coached into saying, "Daddy's doing this because mommy wants him
Mm-hmm.
away from
Right.
daddy."
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my advice. Just let somebody know. Also, you know, a lot of the times the kids' doctors will be able to kind of get it out of them.
Right.
They'll have maybe a sixth sense. Not all the time, though. I don't know. It's really, really hard. That's a tough question. So I don't know. But just go with your gut on something. If you feel like something's going on, yes. As far as if you don't know if something seems a little fishy, it
Mhm.
probably is.
Yeah. Would it be fair to say that most, if not all, of the actual victims display some type of like emotional disconnect, whether it be with the family or just altogether in general, kind of like they're not, smiling as much as they usually would, or they're not talking as much as they usually would.
Yeah, or more.
Right, right.
Yeah, if they're smiling more than usual, if they're acting happier than usual, because a lot of the times they'll overact.
Overcompensate for
Mm-hmm.
what's not there.
Yeah, or they'll even towards the abuser, even they'll um,
Interesting.
I mean, with mine, it was a total case of Stockholm syndrome. Almost, it was. Uh, I mean, I did things to please him specifically, so that was definitely the case with me.
So I guess in some ways it's a unique case with each individual child as to how they act out, and pretty much display that something's wrong with them. It could be anywhere from not being as happy as usual, or the
Mm-hmm.
extreme other end, overly happy and overly wanting to please the actual aggressor. That's crazy. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
and it can be behavioral changes, depending on the age of the child. I mean, if it's something that's out of the norm for that child, it'll be a behavioral change that's not in the norm for that age group too. So, a lot of people look at bedwetting, but that's not necessarily it. I mean, it's true that there were times where I wet the bed till I was 8 years old, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that was the sign.
Right.
So, and it was infrequent too. So my parents couldn't have said, "Oh, well, that was it." My mom had no idea because my grandpa loved me so much and
Yeah.
treated me with such great care and everything, and he hated her. So she thought there's no way he would do that to somebody he loves that much.
Hmm.
So, I mean, she thought that that was the thing, that obviously that he wouldn't touch anybody that he treated with such great care and love. So she didn't have it right either.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of family, nowadays, after all that has happened, and it's old news, if you will, within the family. Is there more unity in your family? Now that that's passed, or is it the same?
It's the same. It's there are some members that don't want us to talk out about it, but they're like, "Oh, don't say anything about that. That's an embarrassing thing." I'm like, "Not embarrassing to me. It wasn't my fault."
Right.
And but of course, we live in the South, and that besmirches our family name. No, it doesn't. I mean, even his mother knew about it before she passed, and she said, "I always knew there was something not quite right about that boy." And we purposely did not tell her because we were like, that's going to send her into a nervous breakdown. She's a fragile woman. No, she figured it out. And she was like, I figured there was something wrong with that boy. And I was like, well, good grief, Mama. Thanks. You could have told us,
Right.
but she didn't think it was that bad, of course. She just thought, maybe a learning disability or something.
All right. So now here goes another delicate yet important question. Okay. Um, it has to be. I have to ask it because I'm a pastor's child and all that, and I want to see your outlook on this. So how you were mentioning earlier how the church members would like hold him to like high regard and all that. In turn, how nowadays, how do you look at, God, church, has it warped your opinion on it, or, what's
No,
your,
not at all. I'd still go to the same church. I know the same people. They didn't know because I didn't tell them. It was, it was our whole family. We didn't tell because of fear of him. But a lot of people would probably turn away from God and be like, why did this happen to me? Bad things happen to good people all the time.
exactly.
I don't look at it as God did this to me. I look at it as an opportunity to grow. If anything, that, God gave this to me to be stronger. I'm not saying that, God gave it to me, because I don't believe that God does bad things to children or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I believe God gives us opportunities from the bad things that happen to us.
Right. I agree.
And bad things happen to people everywhere, all over the world, no matter who you worship or don't worship. So I just think that, well, this is my calling from this. And if I can help anybody else from it, then all right. And that's something that I look at as a gift.
Spoken like a true G. I cannot have said it better myself. Not that I'm, what I'm saying, not that I'm saying like what we think and how we, what our opinion is on that is the correct thing. But, I 100% agree with what you said. So, I mean, how to you for thinking that way? Because, like you said, other people, what I'm saying, it warps their mind and their opinion on God. And, oh, why do you allow this to happen? And it's understandable to a certain degree because obviously no one wants to get hurt. No one wants to, like be in harm's way and be used and all that. But at the end of the day, like you said, it doesn't matter who you worship or who you don't worship. It bad things happen to people all the time on a day to day basis. Kids are kidnapped on a day to day basis.
Yeah.
People are, used and abused and all that. And it's sad, but it's the world that we live in. But if you can just kind of like hold on to the fact that it's not what God wants for any of us. God wants only good things for us. And
Right.
that's why he tries his best to, you know what I'm saying, like see to it that we are well protected and etc. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like us as humans, we fault and we just don't know it, but we allow things to happen or we aren't aware of certain things to help prevent them from happening. And so
Right.
they happen.
They do. I mean, they do. I mean, if you look at it, the rain falls on the just and the unjust. It's nothing that anybody can or can't prevent. It's just we'll do our best to prevent what we can from the future and learn from the mistakes that we've made.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So I don't wait. I don't want to take up too much of your night. I have like a few more questions here and there, but it's a little bit more or less. I don't want to say the same, but they're kind of like made in order for us to actually like put ourselves in your shoes or anybody else's shoes that have gone through this, to help us understand better from a different perspective, you know, and have like a different eye for these situations. But so, do you think that around that same time that you went through what you went through, um, if let's say Alex from Predator Poachers was back around in those days, you know, what are the chances you think he would have been able to, you know, like, catch your grandpa, or at least, you know what I'm saying, like, uh,
No, my grandpa was very careful. He kept it in the family.
that's crazy.
Yeah. He had a whole family. I mean, that's and there were others that he could have gone to that we suspect that he did, but who won't talk about it. So, you know, there are just others we suspect who just won't say anything on the subject, and that's okay. If they don't feel comfortable talking about it, we're not going to make them talk about it. Not a big deal. But no, he had a whole family to go through. There are many of us that, and a lot of other little girls that we think that he didn't get to.
Wow.
So, because he had some of us that were complacent, and he just didn't get to the rest of us. So, you know, thankfully, hopefully.
Right.
But no, he kept it in the family, and he knew how to keep us quiet. He had us intimidated, and we figured that's where he kept it. So my grandpa was one of the ones that knew what he was doing, and we think that he might have had a couple of people around town that knew, but we don't know.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, man, listen, for us who are over here, like in our homes and have a little bit of extra time or whatever on our hands, whatever we can do, no matter what it is, whether it's decoy work, whether it's, you know, staying vigilant, you know, around the neighborhood, calling the cops if we see something that doesn't look right or whatever concerning kids, you know, it all helps. You know what I'm saying? It all helps catch these creeps because you never know who it is. They could be extremely careful, you know, like in your case, or they might be careful at first, but then, you know, might slip up at some point, and you're there to help, you know, get them, hack them, or just pretty much get them to self-incriminate themselves. So any little bit of help helps.
Yeah.
Don't make it sound redundant, but you know it's true.
Right.
So let me ask you another question. If you had your way, like if today, you know what I'm saying, like the president, whoever it is, all right, no matter who it is, like let's just say the president, okay, um, walked up to you and said, "I need your advice and your opinions concerning the matter of like pedophiles, predators, and all this. What do you think is should be like their sentencing, or what do you think is the best punishment for these you know criminals? What would you say?"
Definitely longer sentences. They don't get enough. Um, they don't get enough. What do you call it? Prison sentence. They right now they get. I think it's what 5 years is the average, and that's nothing. Um, I mean, they're out in less than 5 on good behavior
Right, I was about
because
to say that right now.
yeah, there's that right there just encourages them to do more.
Right.
So there needs to be, I think, harsher sentencing for CP. There needs to be harsher sentencing for all of that. I think if they made it scarier for them, then it would be, it might deter a little bit, not a lot, because they're going to find a way. They're going to find a way around it. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but I think it's all through the government and high ups as well. So,
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I 110% agree with you on that. Of course. I mean, I'm gonna try to like one of these days. I'm gonna try to share some of the videos from that channel I told you about earlier because he gets into that like really, really deep, and it's amazing what you learn when with a little bit of information from the outside.
oh yeah.
But so now that you bring that up, um, do you think in any way, shape, or form? Because there's been talks about uh, underground bunkers, miles of under the floor, like streets and all that stuff. Do you think there's a possibility that there's human trafficking going on below our feet?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no way there couldn't be. As much as I hate to think of it, that it's been, the government's been running projects on its people, and I don't necessarily mean it's the government doing it, but there have been projects running for ages. I mean, since America began. You can look back in history on declassified files now and see that there have been things that have been run through the population of the American people. And it's not just America either. It's, if you look back into Europe's population and their governments and look through all of them, I mean, it's what happens. That's the norm. Who else do they have to experiment on and to run things with? It's us. It's the people. So yeah, of course there's trafficking going on. There's, I mean, that's, I don't want to say it's the least of all things going on, but I think it's one of the least of all things going on because at least those people are alive.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100% agree. If anybody has time to look up I think it's called the McMartin trial,
Mm-hmm.
back in the I think late '80s or early '90s. That's a deep story to get into, and the things that you'll hear on there is really eye opening. So,
Oh
and
yes.
all that, people from the government being pretty much like, they would put out pictures in the courtroom, like, can you point out who did this to you, whatever. And the child would be like, oh, that one, and it'd be like some type of government official or something along those lines. It's crazy. But it does go deep. The rabbit hole does go deep.
It does.
So we're getting now to the conclusion of this interview. I am going to allow from this point forward for like the next 5 minutes or so for anybody on the chat area, if they have any questions or comments that they want to let Jen know about, please, right now is the time to say something or ask something. Jen, while we wait for those questions and comments to go through, is there anything you want to add, whether it be to your story, to your background, or anything you just want to mention to anybody watching this now or afterwards?
I have been seeing the comments pop up, and thank you. I know that they've said stuff, and I just wanted to say thank you for the encouragement and everything.
Right on, right on. Julie Harmon, I already put it on the screen for you, but in case you can't see it right away.
I will. I think, Julie, I think you're on my Instagram already. I will message you.
Perfect, perfect. Pirate Hacker for Life says, good for you, Jen Stewart, for all the peds you help expose. Keep up the good work. Let's see. I'm gonna give everybody a few more minutes because I know that the chat area is like acting up and the connection is not the greatest. So, Julie says maybe she can help me get Give my balls to do my interview with you. Oh man. That's not really a question, Julie, but okay. Slide. Julie already knows, like she's gonna be on here soon. I know it.
That's awesome.
And of course, my older brother, who was just on here a few days ago for the interview I had with the pastor, because he is a pastor, he says thank you for what you do, you know. And I know he has a lot more to say than that, but he's one of those people who says a lot with just like one sentence or like one word. So, but he thanks you for what you do. Let's see, 2 more minutes. Okay, Philly Girl says, you and I feel the same way about a lot of things. Friend me on Instagram. I will follow you.
I will.
There's that. Okay. Okay, no, that's for somebody else. But yeah, if anybody else has something else that you want to ask, right now's the time. There's 2 more minutes left before I officially end the stream. Well, I have Jessica here saying, Jen, you're strong and beautiful, had me in tears.
Oh, thank you.
But those are tears of strength, because every tear that, you know what I'm saying, each one of us like would shed is because is good to know that there's people out there who are willing to share their story with us, even though it might be like a really messed up story. But the fact that you found the courage to go ahead and share with us, it means a lot to every single one of us. And I mean, it's you're great. You're awesome to talk to. Um, I might eventually hit you up for decoy work, so
Definitely.
So be on the lookout for that. Philly Girl says thanks for your transparency. You're awesome.
No problem. I overshare anyway.
And yeah, and that's something I also have to thank you for, because once again, it's not easy telling your backstory when it's that powerful. So the fact that you were out and open about it and transparent and honest and, you know, straightforward, it means a lot to all of us. Let's see. FM from NY Creep Spotlight says, "This is why we do what we do. We are your voices, and trust me, I will continue to put fear in these monsters." But yeah, yep. And Julie says, "Stay strong, Jen. You really give me more courage to open up." And this is why these interviews are so important, because that's what I want. I want other people who have gone through similar things, situations concerning this matter, to find that courage and strength to also tell their story. So, you know what I'm saying? Mission accomplished, Jen. You did a great job here.
Thank you. And Julie, I want to hear your story, so you better get on here.
Yep, same. I feel the same way. I can't wait to hear her story.
Yeah.
Jen, anything else you want to say before I officially end the stream?
Not that I can think of. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. Thank you for setting out time for this. Thank you for being patient with me. I try to be as professional as I can be, but sometimes, you know, like life happens and things get in the way and just, you know, don't help me at all. But you, on the other hand, were awesome. You were amazing. Thank you for being on here. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate being on here. This has been fun.
Awesome. You have a good one. I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna say a few more words to the viewers on here. But you have a blessed night. And yeah, like I said, I'm be hitting you up soon for the decoy work.
Okay.
All right, Jen.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one. All right. So for everybody still on here, yeah. I never take down any of my interviews or live streams. I keep them up. I never delete them, unless, of course, something goes haywire, technical difficulties or whatever. But for the most part, I keep my streams and interviews up. I'll never take them down. Guys, please, go check out. I don't say you have to watch the whole thing because it's 5 hours, but if you can, at least watch a little bit of it and give it a thumbs up. The stream that I did before this one, I'll appreciate it. Obviously, if you think this story from Jen will help anybody else, a family member, a neighbor, a friend, a coworker, that needs to hear this, then go ahead and share this video with them as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you're thinking about becoming a member, go ahead and do that. And let's see. Yeah, no problem, Julie. That's what we're here for. There's going to be another interview coming up soon with Predator Poachers Maine. I'm hoping to have that on this Sunday coming up. So please don't forget. Set your reminders, whether it be on your phones or whatever. Hopefully this Sunday that's coming up, Predator Poachers Maine. But if not this Sunday, I'll let y'all know in advance. Also, we have another interview coming between early and mid-October. I'm not going to say who it is just yet, but you'll definitely want to check that one out as well. Yeah. Thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate that. Yep. Even if it's, obviously I understand if y'all can't watch the whole 5 hours, that's understandable. I respect that. But just go ahead and give it a thumbs up at least and watch like maybe, I don't know, a good few minutes of it just to get the algorithm bumping on it. Y'all have a blessed night. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the love and support. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow through Instagram, as I always do. If I have anything else in the works, I will let y'all know through Instagram stories. So keep an eye out for that. All right. Please help me spread awareness about these topics. All right. And that's what the last stream was about. I was walking 5 hours, helping to spread awareness of all these different concerns. You know, child missing children, kidnapped children, human trafficking, sexual abuse, all that stuff. All right. Anyways, y'all have a blessed night. Take care. Love every single one of y'all. And as I always try to do, I'm going to name some of y'all because I can't see all the comments that y'all left in the chat area. But we got Tori in the house. We got Julie Harmon. We got Bill Powell. We got Jessica. We got FM from NYC Spotlight. We got Sagtown. We got VL Baby Girl. We got Ego Andy. We got Pirate Hacker for Life. We got Jinx Sky, Straight A, Christopher LaRoche. Stasia, RB Wagon, Predator Poachers, Massachusetts, Philly Girl, Toyo, Takasi, Tetris God, Wabisito, and if I forgot to name you, it wasn't it wasn't on purpose. Y'all have a blessed night, all right? Love y'all. Peace out. See you tomorrow, all right?